Hey guys, welcome back. It's Ted Bogert, and this is The TED Show. I love our musical guests, and there's no better way to kick off your Friday and your weekend with the Alona Decade. We're
Hi.
going to talk about, hi everybody, soulful allusions and perfect lyricism. I just pulled that from what she said, but it relaxed me and made me in a good mood. So I'm like, let's use that as the title. She's going to share her journey, perform for us at the end. Welcome, Alona. Now, do you like the Alona Decade or do you like Alona? How shall we get to know you?
So you can definitely just call me Alana, but my stage name is the Alona Decade. So you can just call me when people are talking to me one-on-one. It's definitely more personable to just say Alana.
Alana, and I was saying it wrong, so there you go. Thank you for that, Alana. All right, so we talked before we went live for a second. The audience, we all love to know the origin story. We want to know your beginnings and kind of a little bit of your journey to where you're at now. So let's start there. Give them the 411 on Alana.
Okay, the 401. So I actually grew up in a musically inclined family, especially on my mother's side, but my dad can sing as well. So music has always been around me, and I've always heard some really good voices. So not just the shower singing. So I actually, sang along. I would sing along with my mom when we were cleaning up on Saturday mornings, and I would sing along with my dad when we would be in the car singing. My cousins and my great grandmother, everybody sang, and we grew up singing in church together as well. So I kind of knew around age 8 that I could sing. It was more so just like a church thing, and people would assign me to singing like in the choir or something like that. But I always kind of had this inkling, like, wow, I wish that I could do that like forever. I would say that to myself, but I wouldn't tell anybody else because I didn't think it was like a real job. Like you grow up and you go to career day at school and everybody's like, what do you want to be? Like a firefighter or a police officer or something like that. No musicians ever came.
We're not trained to think that way, but I love that you had it in the back of your mind.
Yeah, in the back of my mind, it was always there. And so fast forward to 2019, I was working, a job, a 9 to 5, and a great job, but I still wasn't fulfilled. And by that time, I had tried a few different jobs and a few different careers, and it's just like, it wasn't like it wasn't working. I was excelling at all of them, but I was kind of getting bored. And it was because at the end of the day, in the back of my mind, I knew what I really wanted to be doing. I just didn't believe totally that I could do it. And so, I was having kind of a spiritual awakening, and my husband was there with me through the whole situation. And it was one of those just do it, just start doing it. So I went from purchasing Pro Tools to like recording in my home studio to like going into like an actual professional studio, working with an engineer. And then before you know it, Wave was released last year. During the pandemic is when I actually decided to my career, go figure. That's how everything kind of started. At the end of 2019, I locked my hair. I started pursuing music. I decided I was no longer going to just keep stuff in the back of my mind, right? And so growing up in Atlanta, Georgia, I know I had like such a huge support system. Nobody was shocked. Everybody was like, finally. Everybody was like,
they knew your purpose before you did, before you were ready for it.
Exactly. So that's the origin story of kind of just like how I got started and where, how I am where I am today.
So that begs a lot of questions. First, tell us about, you mentioned the pandemic. Tell us what that was like releasing an album and trying to promote and perform and build when all of the venues shut down and you had to really figure out how to market in a different way. What did you do?
That's a really, really good question. So I did a lot of research, and I'm kind of like a research nerd anyways, but I did a lot of research on YouTube and Instagram, and I really didn't, it actually wasn't even a block in my mind that I was releasing it during the pandemic until it was actually out. I was like, did I just do that? Like, I really did that. But, it was very creative. Like a lot of my sessions to actually mix and master a majority of the songs on my album was done via Zoom. And that was so hard because we were both like, can you hear that? Did you hear that? We were both trying to make sure. So that was really interesting. But as far as promotion and marketing, I just found super creative ways to market myself on social media. I started like a campaign. I did like a 10-day campaign where I was like answering questions. I did another like 15-day campaign after the album was released where I had my fans actually like basically take over my Instagram and say like what their favorite song on the album is and why. So I just try to be as creative as possible using social media. And I think it was a success, especially for me being a new artist, like brand new for the most part. Like I said, I have an amazing family and support system. So it didn't surprise me that they were behind me, but I got a lot of, support from international support and different things like that. And I really think it was thanks to the internet.
Well, yeah, I think the pandemic forced people to do things outside of the norm. So having to promote yourself and your basically business and your album, you had to resort to social media and learn how to maneuver through that. I'm glad to hear that it was a success for you.
Yeah.
And I think 2021 things are starting to open up a little bit. Tell us about the Alona Decade, the Alona Decade. You added "the" to your promotion. So what's the impetus? What's the start behind that?
So Alana actually is a name that I kind of gave myself like an alter ego before Beyonce even had Sasha Fierce. And I didn't know that's what you call it. But to give you a little bit of backstory on that, growing up, my actual birth name, a lot of people would just mispronounce it and misspell it. So it aggravated me. So when social media like Facebook and MySpace and all of that would come out, I didn't want to use that name because I just didn't think anybody would know how to say it. So
Right.
I actually was on the internet and I was like looking for names, and being that I'm, a spiritual person, I wanted to look up names that actually had some biblical context to them and something that like meant something, not just some random name because it sounded cute. So I actually ended up like finding Alana, and it means strong as oak with God in Hebrew. And so that was just like, oh yeah, I don't even like that was it. When I found it, that was it. And so also growing up, I always was told that I had an old soul. So everybody would always say, you seem so much more mature for your age. So that's where the decade part comes from, because I feel like so much of me is, my mom, and so much of me is my grandmother. And I just soaked a lot of that soul up from being around them. And the is just the emphasis that there can only be one, honey. Only one. So it's like only one. It's like not Alona Decade, it's the Alona Decade. Okay.
I love that. I love you share that, because I think a lot of times there are some bands I don't even know why they're called that. I would have to Google it. I think music fans love to know that backstory. So thank you for sharing that. I love it. I love when an artist will share sort of their, it's not really a secret, but it's good to understand why we would refer to you, or why you refer to yourself as the Alona Decade. I love that story. All right, tell us about 2021. You tell us what's changed. Are you getting out and performing? Are you writing new music? What's your process like now that things have begun to open up?
Yeah, that's a question as well. I am booking shows, and that's kind of like weird to say because my first, show as an artist was a virtual show, and like I really did it up, like my whole living room, because I wanted to give that whole NPR tiny desk feel. And so it just felt so good. It was such a good show. So now that I have to like try to produce that outside, obviously it takes way more to do. And so it's so funny. But I am booking shows, and I'm still interested in the virtual stuff because I think it creates a very warm and personable feeling. But I had my first show a couple of weeks ago, actually in May. Downtown Providence, and it was awesome. It was at one of the most popular bars down here, so it was awesome. I did about 6 songs, and I did some covers and different things like that. But it was awesome, and yeah, I'm definitely writing new music. I performed my newest single, "The Memories," at that performance, and I've really been promoting that. But I do have some new music coming in July, so I'm very excited. Yes. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm always, writing and creating. I did take a little bit of a break from creating after my album released last September, and that felt so weird. And when I say a break, it was like 2 months, but it felt so strange. So I was like, I have to build studio time in my schedule every week. So that's what I do. Every Thursday, I spend 2 hours either writing or recording something new or developing something. Producers send me a lot of beat packs, so I might spend some time going through those, but I'm always trying to create because I'm the type of person where if I don't, I'll get very, like, not necessarily I'll lose it, but I'm so like, I'm so like focused on one thing. If I put it like to the side, it'll be 3 months and I'll look up and like, oh, I haven't created a song. So it's
I know. You're a creative and you need to continue to be creative and challenged, which I love. All right, tell us, it's time for us to hear you. So I'm going to take myself off and then you tell them about the song and whatever you want to share. And we're ready for you.
Okay, sounds good. So this song that I'm actually going to be performing is called Wave. It was my first single, my debut single off of my album Indecisive. And this song really is a summer bop. Like, it's such a great summer song. It's, you can ride in the car, going to the beach or at a picnic, and it's appropriate so you can listen to it with your mom and your aunties and all of that. It's just a really great song, and I am definitely a person that gets really deep into my feelings when it comes to how I write, but this one I wanted to have a lot of fun with. And so because it's summer, we're all getting outside now, I want to perform this song for you guys. Again, it's called Wave.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Woo. I love it.
I don't know how to begin. You started off as my friend, grew to love, and then I don't need to win. I never really felt this feeling. I didn't expect much from the beginning, but it feels like you're ready to win. And I don't believe I'm ready. I'm not saying I'm leaving. I'm not saying I'm gone. I'm just saying let's take it slow. Yes, I know you're the one, 'cause the universe says so. But baby, let's just take our time. Ride the way. And hit the beach with my friend. Make moves. I said you can do it with my best friend. Just ride the way. Every time you bring it up, all we do is fuss and fight. It doesn't matter who screams the loudest, who's wrong or right. Before all the pressure, we had more highs and lows. Why am I still proving myself when everybody knows? I'm not saying I'm leaving. I'm not saying I'm gone. I'm just saying let's take it slow. Yes, I know you're the one, 'cause the universe is so. But baby, let's just take our time. Just ride the wave. And hit the beach with my friend. Make moves and then the fight that you do it all with my best friend. Just ride the wave. I just want to ride the wave. And hit the beach with my friend. Just ride. Make moves and then the body just right. And do it all right. Just ride the wave. the way, ride the way, ride the way. Just ride the way, ride the way, ride the way. Hey, 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 hey.
Oh my God. That song is infectious. I love it. You know, I take the truth of the matter is I take myself off so that if you're bad, you can't see me reacting. So I loved that. That was so good. Um, your vocals are great too. I don't want to sound like American Idol, but I loved that. I really, really loved it. And I love the energy of the song. Your performance really is what it's all about on that song. So I am excited that you're going to get to now begin to go out and audiences get to experience that live instead of on this little computer camera we're all sitting on right now.
I know, but it's cozy. It's super.
It is cozy. Well, you've created. I want to tell you that picture behind you, that painting behind you is beautiful. But I love the energy, and I love the way that makes you feel. That was a great song. All right, tell them how to get the song, how to download, how to support you, how to know where you're going to perform next, and how about how to buy some of your music. What's the best way to find all that out?
Absolutely. So, as I mentioned before, there is only one, the Alona Decade. So, as long as you enter that wherever you get your music, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Tidal, Deezer, all of the array of music distributions and streaming platforms. My music is there. It's even on SoundCloud. I also have a few visuals out. I have a few videos from my first album. One I do have for Wave, so you can catch that on YouTube. I also have a video out for a song called Self Talk. And then I have a video for my newest single, which I mentioned before, is The Memories. So you can find all of that, like I said, on YouTube or any streaming platform that you listen to your music. Just make sure you type The Alona Decade, and that's Alona with an O.
I love it. All right, The Alona Decade, you were amazing. You all go out and support these creatives.
Thank you
tough
so
year
much for
2020. I'm so excited you were here. I want you to go to thealonadecade.com or just The Alona Decade, of course, anywhere on the platforms that you listen to music or on social. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. So much fun.
Anytime. All right, y'all go out and support The Alona Decade. Everybody have a beautiful weekend. Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. We love